ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks so much for joining us. We're tracking fairly settled weather in the New Zealand area this week. We've got a low to the north though. That will bring in a little bit of rain, but generally speaking, high pressure down here over the South Island will expand out. So while we've got some massive stormy systems down here in the Southern Ocean, this high pressure belt is the main feature for the next week ahead. But let's take a little bit of a look at that low that's in the north and the rain that it's producing. Some downpours mostly around the Auckland Coromandel region, very patchy as it's been for the last 2 or 3 days. So patchy falls, some might be a little bit heavy, otherwise mostly sort of light showers. So you can see here the totals aren't that great, 35 millimeters maybe over the next 24 hours from some of those heavier downpours perhaps coming in a bit later on for Monday. And the good news is around the eastern side here in Hawke's Bay, another 10 to 15 millimeters coming for you today, which will be very welcome, even though it's not a huge amount. As we go through into Tuesday, we've still got a few more showers in here, but it sort of goes off to the northeast corner, and for Auckland it slides out more towards Coromandel, but maybe another 5 to 10 millimeters coming through for you on Tuesday. And the green you see here, the darker green, that's just the satellite imagery. There's no rain falling at all. It's dry. The next bit of rain, just a little bit, just a small amount down around Fiordland. And temperatures, well, Monday is cooler than average along the eastern side. We were talking about that last week. I'm a little surprised it hasn't gone further up into the north, but with that little area of low pressure, it's just sort of stopping it from going further up the country. But look at these temperatures. Some areas today, single-digit daytime highs. Tonight is certainly colder around the South Island and the lower North Island, bang on average for the rest of the country. And as we go in towards Tuesday, it is warming back up again in the South Island. You know, a high pressure system on the last day of winter normally brings in frosts. Yeah, it might be a bit of a cool start, but it's a warmer than average afternoon by 4, 5, 6 degrees. But it's colder than average still over here on Tuesday for the eastern side of the North Island. And this is how Tuesday looks. So it's colder because of the high. The high is pulling up a southerly right over the top of the Chatham Islands and then dredges it in as an east to northeasterly. So you look on the forecast and you think, well, that doesn't look too bad. It's an easterly or a northeasterly. It's a cold one coming out of the Southern Ocean. That's why those temperatures are down. The messy little low sticks to the north here. That's why you've still got a bit more wet weather up around northern New Zealand and this big storm down in the Southern Ocean, and it is big. Central air pressure is about the same as Hurricane Ida that just hit the United States and was almost Category 5 when it did that. So this is a big storm, but it's well south even of Australia, just a little bit windy on the very coastal zones there, probably Tasmania the most exposed to that. As we move through the week, well, this is where we don't get a great deal of change. You'll see it more so when we get to the Thursday map, but for Wednesday, some of that leftover wet weather just lingers around. I mean, we've got a low here, but it's 1020. That's technically high pressure. I'm not even really sure why the map's showing that as a low, because it's not really anymore, but I guess because it is tracking around it in a cyclonic way. Northeasterly winds, though, they won't be overly cold for northern New Zealand, but still a little bit cool for those coastal areas from Christchurch up to about Gisborne. By Thursday, get used to this weather map, New Zealand. High pressure in charge and easterlies at the top. Now, we'll still see a few showers on Thursday, but then they will fade away for the most part by Friday because the high, 1043, very powerful high pressure zone that will keep most of New Zealand dry and settled. Most of Australia's settled as well, except for the southeastern corner, which is a lot of people. You know, Melbourne's 5 million people. So you've got Adelaide, Melbourne and Hobart all caught up in that sort of messier system over on that side there. Now, as we go in towards the weekend, not a great deal of change. There is a cold front that moves up and towards Sydney and it goes all the way into Alice Springs, so that's a little bit unusual for you, but the high over New Zealand remains firmly in charge and it's still there on Sunday as well. That high certainly isn't moving. Low pressure out at sea, that is dominating the southeastern corner of Aussie, moves up to Sydney, maybe a thunderstorm or two, and then that system falls apart. And that is all from me. It's a pretty settled week really coming up for New Zealand. Showers in the north, and for Australia, it's windy and showery in that southeastern corner. We'll see you again tomorrow with our next update.